Welcome, parents. My name is Diane Jepson, and this is Kim Bingham. I serve as the director of Ensign Peak Academy, and Kim Bingham is the middle school program director. And we're going to make a little video today about internet safety. Since we're an online school, we have lots of questions from parents, and we want to give you our best advice that we've gleaned over the last few years from working with an online learning community. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started. So we're dedicated to internet safety for our online students and hope this presentation can be helpful in providing information for both parents and students as well. So our students learn online, therefore they do spend a considerable amount of time on their electronic devices. And online learning also means that they're visiting a wide variety of websites and they're using online tools like search engines. That's part of our curriculum. Lots of articles that they read online and other resources that they look up to learn. So in order to promote their safety while they navigate the online academic and social terrain, parents should be aware of their children's electronic activities. So how do they do this? So Kim's going to talk about that.
So Ensign Peak Academy's online learning model really centers on our live classes that are on Zoom on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and students have 3 classes on Tuesdays and 3 classes on Thursdays, and then plus additional courses for math and foreign languages, and then we have clubs as well. There is a chat function that is available for the students to use with the mentor's discretion, or according to what they think is right during that class time. And it may be turned off at any time if the mentors choose that it's getting out of control. Individual personal study is learning that includes articles, videos, and resources from external websites. And students do this on their own during non-class times. And this is expected to take the place of what could be another live class time. There are online quizzes, and there's messaging through Canvas to mentors and peers. Canvas also offers a calendar that students can use to help manage their time. And there are extracurricular clubs and a lunch bunch that provides social opportunities for students to visit with each other and get to know each other outside of the live class times.
Thanks, Kim. You know, it's really important to us to cultivate friendships amongst our learning communities of students. And so we strive to offer lots of those types of opportunities. And those are wonderful things to do. The lunch bunch where they can just socialize freely, and the other clubs too. Now, during the live classes, it's very valuable if parents will use their internet filtering tools to block social media notifications and access, because this prevents that distraction, you know, when the student hears that little ding notification, they are very compelled to go and check whatever funny thing it is that their friend, who may also be in the same class even, might be sending to them. So it's helpful to just block those altogether. And we also find it very helpful if a student does have a phone, if the phone can be turned off and put in another room during the live class so that it won't form a distraction for them. Okay, well, our youth need good friends, and we know that, and they tell us that. Kim's going to talk about that and her experience with her own children.
Really, that's so true. Some benefits of the online social interaction that our students and our children experience at Ensign Peak Academy. Well, it can create friendships that contribute to overall well-being. It can provide peer social networks that promote mutual support through the challenges of youth. It can be a source of entertainment and fun for students, and the interconnectedness of students enriches the school community and the warmth of the live class periods, So my son, especially my oldest, is very social, and he thrives on being able to interact with his friends, and they're all good kids, and they're all Latter-day Saints. And that's a good support for him right now and helps him want to do what's good and to even help lead among his peers and to strengthen the friendships. So far, we've been with Ensign Peak Academy for 2 years, and his friendships just continue to strengthen and deepen as they share the experiences that they have in class together and, of course, through Sim Week. So it's very important in our family.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Kim. Now, of course, there's some potential dangers of online activity. For example, it can be very distracting. Some students might get so excited about their social media interactions that they spend a lot of time doing that, and that takes away time that they need to do their homework. So it's helpful for parents to support students in finishing their homework before they move on to interacting with their friends on social media. Obviously, cyberbullying is a potential danger of online activity, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that in this presentation. There's dangerous apps and websites there that are good to identify and block, and use like general porn blockers and things like that to help mitigate against that. And then information security. So it'd be advisable for parents to learn about proper information security to help their students to know about that too, and be safe online. So what are some steps parents can take directly? Kim's going to address that.
Managing distraction. We can set time limits for when our children use certain apps or how long they're going to be online. I think this is very helpful for us. You can have students share their screens to ensure that they are on task. And I've heard that this is also a rule that missionaries follow in their companionships. And it just shows a level of trust, and it strengthens that trust that I, as a mother, have for my kids. You can restrict the use of apps and websites during live class times and during focus periods. And Diane, you talked about this before, and it's so important. They may say that they're paying attention, that it's not a distraction, but it always is. And they literally can only do one thing at a time. So when they're chatting with their friends, they're not paying attention. So it is good to block the social apps and to put the phone in the other room until it's time to enjoy that social activity again. And you can give rewards for maintaining focus and respecting the limits. So that can be maybe a little extra time, or whatever works for your family. But I think it's good to be positive and to stay connected to your children, even as you have to restrict some of their usage of these devices and apps.
I think that's great. I was recently visiting a brick and mortar school, and I noticed in several classrooms there was a little pouch set up near the front door, where it had like 20 different little pouches on this hanging thing, and they were all numbered. And I asked the teacher about that, and she said, oh, we just have the students put their cell phones in the pouches when they walk in the door. They all have a number, and then when they leave, they can take it with them. So it's not even at their desk. And I thought, well, that's great. And we can do that with Ensign Peak Academy too, by having our youth put their phones in another room during class, or just turn them over to mom during
Yes.
class. Okay, now we're going to talk about a difficult subject of cyberbullying. This is a form of bullying that takes place over digital devices. It can happen on cell phones or computers or tablets. It can happen through messaging or social media, or even gaming, where people view and participate in shared content. So this includes sending, posting, or sharing anything that's negative or harmful or false. For example, telling somebody something about someone else that's not true for the purpose of harming that person's reputation or embarrassing them. It could be mean content about someone else. So it can include sharing personal or private information about somebody that would cause them embarrassment or humiliation. So perhaps someone has shared something personal with somebody else, and that person decides to use that information to embarrass them by posting it publicly. So some cyberbullying goes so far as to cross the line into unlawful or even criminal behavior. You can find out more about that at stopbullying.gov. Now, some of the most common places where social media or cyberbullying, pardon me, occurs is on social media like Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Students may text messages and share apps on their mobile phone or tablet devices. And then that instant messaging or direct messaging and online chatting over the internet is misused to bully others. And there's a number of online forums like chat rooms and message boards like Reddit where cyberbullying can take place, or people might just send an email to someone else that's of a bullying nature. We talked about online gaming communities as well. So it's good to be aware that this exists and to talk about it with your youth so that they can understand that this is something that happens and it's not something that we want to participate in. It's something that we want to stop. We want to identify it and report it. So we're going to watch a little video now about cyberbullying to help you understand it.
Cyberbullying happens when someone posts or shares harmful or mean content about someone else on the internet, social media, apps, texts, video games, or digital devices. Take this example. Maddie took a screenshot of her classmate Shonda's photo from social media. She then used an app to make Shonda look like a monster in the photo and added some insulting words. After sharing it in a group text, some classmates replied with hurtful, mean comments about Shonda. Others laughed and shared it with others. Is it cyberbullying? Yes. Maddie wanted to embarrass Shonda, and by doing so, she encouraged others to do the same. What can Shonda do? Take screenshots of the cyberbullying. It's painful, but Shonda needs to document what happened in case it happens again. Shonda can also block the group texts. She should tell what happened to an adult she trusts. Together, they may want to report what happened to the school. How about this one? Malcolm plays multiplayer video games online with people he only knows through gaming. A few of them have added him on social media. One player, Lucas123X, or Lucas, used to chat with him a lot while playing, asking a bunch of personal questions. Malcolm answered and didn't think much about it. But one day, Lucas posted all kinds of personal information about Malcolm on social media, mixed in with lies and comments about his ethnicity and gaming skills. Is it cyberbullying? Yes. Lucas was trying to harm Malcolm and his reputation. What can Malcolm do? He can take screenshots of the posts and block Lucas on social media. What Lucas did may have also violated the rules of the social media site and the gaming platform. Malcolm should report Lucas's behavior to the sites. He can also avoid a game if he knows Lucas is one of the players. Malcolm can tell an adult about what happened. Together, they can help determine if they should report it to the police. And remember, never give out personal information to strangers. Here's another one. Jaden and his friend Dylan were having fun, kidding around after school. Jaden took photos and posted them online. One photo showed Dylan making a weird face, which they both found funny, but other kids who saw it started posting mean comments about Dylan's face in the photo. Dylan was upset by the photo and the comments. Is it cyberbullying? No. If Jaden didn't mean any harm and he's willing to delete the photo, it is not cyberbullying. If Jaden doesn't delete the photo after seeing the negative comments being posted about his friend Dylan, he could be contributing to cyberbullying though. What can Dylan do? He can ask Jaden to remove the post and, in the future, to ask permission before sharing photos of him. If Jaden is a friend, he'll respect Dylan's request, apologize, and delete the photo. For more information, visit stopbullying.gov.
All right, thank you. I hope that video was helpful. Move on to our next slide. Kim's going to talk more about responding to cyberbullying.
Just like the video said, we should ask our youth to tell us immediately if they experience anything like this, or tell someone that they trust. And they should take screenshots of the activity and document what happened. And I would even include the dates and when that went down. They should block the bully from all communication, and they should report the incident to a school administrator, at least if it involves another student at our school. And if there's severe bullying has occurred, then you should be prepared to report it to legal authorities.
That's right. And parents can be the best advocates for their youth and know best how to advise and counsel their youth. And so we always appreciate it as school administrators if there's an example of bullying that we can learn from the parents how best to support them. In addition to that, we do have an honor code that's part of our school that every student has agreed to when they fill out their application to become a student. And so basically, the honor code reads that students will strive to follow the standards and for the strength of youth. And here's a link to that. This is on our school website. It's under About Us. Here's this honor code. And also, students agree to not engage in any form of bullying. And so we believe that each student at Ensign Peak Academy has a right to learn in a safe and friendly place and be treated with respect and receive the help and support of caring adults. And so if there is an incident of bullying, then, and we hear about it, then we will respond. So we do have a code of conduct that describes the positive behaviors expected of our school community. These are very broad and well-established standards for behavior. And what we will do is, if it's a minor incident, we'll just reach out to the student and ask that student please to stop doing that, explain to them what it was that they did and why it's not something that's consistent with our honor code. And then we'll ask them to please apologize. And then if it continues to go on, then we'll reach out to the parents and ask them if they could work with us to help the student to stop behaving that way and help support our learning community. And then if it continues to go on after that, then we will suspend the student for a period of time from their Canvas account. And if it continues to go on after they have been reinstated, then we may expel a student. So we do have that procedure in place. If the incident of bullying is particularly egregious, then we may go through the procedure a bit more rapidly. Obviously, we would immediately contact the parents and discuss that with them. So we do have some resources here about bullying. It would be good to review with your students, your own youth as parents. Then we also have a page in our Student Center called Cyberbullying Prevention and Responding that would be good for all students to review with their parents what it is and the concept of talking to an adult about any messages you see online that would be in the nature of bullying. It's also very helpful for students to stand up to the bullying by talking with their parent, a teacher, or other adult, and being kind to the person being bullied, because not saying anything can make it worse for everyone, particularly with our school culture that we want very much to protect. Okay, so now we're going to have Kim talk about some apps and websites and how to manage that.
Well, families should use internet filters, and there's several different kinds, and we'll go over those in a moment. And families can also implement screen sharing rules, and this basically means that the device screen has to be facing outward so everyone who walks into the room can see what's happening on the screen. And again, parents can set rules about internet use. You may not go to YouTube and watch videos for fun or whatever fits your family best, but it's important to set those guidelines, because if we don't, then it's harder to come back and reel in the freedom that we've already given out. But it helps to give them some guidelines and some parameters to work within. Parents can also teach their children about dangers of bad websites and apps. So it's not even always just about content. Sometimes it's about viruses and malware that they can get on their devices, which can be very expensive to get rid of. So parents can, read up and research, what are the threats when it comes to these things, so that they can educate their children and their students as they navigate the web. some really good parental controls and internet filters. There's really great tools available right now, and router limits is one of them. I personally use Circle Home Plus, and yeah, so every product's a little different, and like I said, I use Circle Home Plus, and I have an app that I use to manage all of the devices and all of their activities for each one of my children, and I can restrict the time that they're on. I can restrict the apps that they're using. I can restrict their access to websites. I can implement safe search features. It's really helped us stay on the good path, and we still have lots of conversations about what's appropriate, what's safe, but these tools definitely help out in our family. So for information security, parents should maintain lists of all their children's passwords for each online account. So my oldest, for example, he likes to produce music and collaborate with his friends on music, but I have the password for that particular website because he also interacts or could interact with strangers potentially, and it's important that we have access to their accounts so we can check up on them, make sure they're having safe communication with safe people, and that all of their activities are good. They should also instruct their students or their children not to share personal information of any kind with people they don't know, especially their location. So on social media, we don't want to broadcast that we're going on vacation for 2 weeks and things like that. The more members of your family that are using social media, the more potential dangers there are for information um, leaks, kind of like this. And we can guard against that by just letting everyone know how to be safe and what's appropriate to share and what's not. Parents should monitor their children's use of electronic devices. We really need to be aware if we're going to help our children be safe, we have to know what they're using and how they're using it in order for us to help guide them.
Thank you, Kim. You know, when I grew up, you could go in your home and shut the door, and your home would be a safe haven from the world. But now the world can come right in to your home. So we really want to take care, especially to protect our children against online predators. To seek to know who children are interacting with online, because you might be surprised that your child's having a conversation with somebody who you don't know, and that somebody is pretending to be very friendly with them, very interested in them. And if you discovered that conversation because you had access to their media, then you would be able to protect them. So restrict access to apps that expose children to strangers, and teach children about online predators and how to protect themselves, how to identify them. So these are all some really important, valuable things that we can do to help our students to be safe. Our students live in a world of technology. It's an online world now. And so it's helpful to raise them from the time they're young with learning how to use the internet responsibly and safely and effectively, because it can enrich our lives in so many ways and help us to gain a lot of friendships and interactions and our education as well. So in Ensign Peak Academy, we will strive diligently to help your students to interact with other Latter-day Saint youth that share their values, where they're able to share their experiences with their courses that they have in common and their mentors that they have in common, and build personal friendships. And we have developed a page on our website. It's called our technology page. Let me navigate to that here. So this is under admissions. You see technology here. So it starts by talking about the various technology needs and systems that we use as a school. And then there's a section at the bottom that just talks about internet filtering and monitoring and its importance. So we refer you to that page to help as well. And we are so grateful for the opportunity to serve your students and help them to have a safe and enriching and happy experience with us at Ensign Peak Academy. So thank you all for joining us for this training.